Movies, TV, sports, flicks. Movies, TV, sports, flicks. Movies, TV, sports, flicks.
The Captain Talk Flicks.
Movies, TV, sports, flicks. Movies, TV, sports, flicks. Movies, TV, sports, flicks.
The Captain Talk Flicks.
Welcome to the Captain Talk Flicks podcast. I'm your host, the Captain Quartez, aka Mr. Love, and this is where we talk flicks. Welcome to the podcast where me, the Captain, talks about movies, TV, sports, flicks, anything you can see on a tuber screen. I like to get in here and give my unique perspective because after 46 years of being planet Earth, I've developed a unique perspective about these movies, TV, sports, and flicks. I'd like to get here and tell you about it because just maybe you care. And according to the stats, looks like you do care. I want to give a big shout out to Angola. We got some plays over in Angola this past week. Gracias, gratitude, Toraba. In Angola, I heard the official language of Angola is Portuguese. Bom dia. Yeah, good morning. How's it going? Yes, so I am studying Portuguese also. I'm studying languages. Portuguese is one of them. So I'm going to add Angola to one of the countries I may visit once I've mastered Portuguese. Obviously Brazil, obviously Portugal, and now Angola. So when I'm speaking Portuguese fluently, I'm gonna come over there, chill, lounge, relax, have some cuisine. It'll be so awesome. Can't wait to see you guys. So thanks for listening. Appreciate it. Gracias, gratitude. And just FYI, back then was school to be a radio DJ, but never got a job. I think I never got a job because I didn't have the motivation. If I just would have had the motivation, I would have became a radio DJ. But I didn't have it, to be completely honest with you. Just didn't have it. But that allowed me to become the greatest podcaster in the Matrix. Something to debate, might be true, might not be true. But I said it on the internet. So it's gotta be true, right? Because everything on the internet is facts, not facts, true, false, propaganda, fake news, the Matrix, books, TV, screens, cars, planes, trains, sun, moon, stars. I don't know. I didn't make the internet. Ask the people that made the internet. So when you're online, just be aware. Just watch out. Anybody's can ramble here all day, but it won't. Let's get right into the podcast. But first, a word from our sponsor. Ladies and gentlemen, you may or may not know this, but I've talked about it quite a bit. Sometimes I rap. And on 9/24/2022, I rapped again. I dropped the album called The Sacred Path with my unique style of rhyming and unique beats. It's a very interesting soundscape. I guarantee you, if you play The Sacred Path, you have never heard anything like it in your life. Now, that may be good or that may be bad. I don't know. It depends on your taste. But I'll put the link below to the album, The Sacred Path. And check out my art, my creation. It's what I do when I'm not podcasting. So check out the link, play the song, stream it, download it, share it. And now let's get on with the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I am back again. I say that every week because I keep coming back. I keep showing up. It's like just a thing now. It's like my life. My life is podcasting. Maybe it is, I don't know. But I keep coming back for some weird reason. I like to talk into this microphone. I like to express myself. Because in the real world, sometimes I don't get the chance to express the way I want to. So I come to the microphone and I express for all you guys around the globe to push play on a button and hear me over in Africa, Europe, Asia, United States, Canada, Mexico. It's so cool that you guys push play. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm just a regular dude in the Midwest who does regular stuff. And for whatever reason you like to hear this, buttons getting pushed. I appreciate it very much. And so right now, I'm getting ready to cook some bison meat, right? So I went to my local grocery store, got some groceries. I said, you know what? Let me try some bison meat. I was talking to this dude a couple weeks ago, and maybe subliminally he planted that in my mind just a little bit, talking about it, and then it came back up and said, hey, there's bison meat there. Let's try this. So let's see how bison tastes. Probably tastes like chicken. But first, before I cook the bison, let's get into the podcast. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about my favorite science fiction franchise of all time. Wait. I want to talk about my favorite franchise of all time. Not just science fiction, but favorite franchise. Out of all the franchises, all the properties on planet Earth, in the universe, from now to before to after, this is my favorite franchise. And it is the one and only Star Trek. Live long and prosper. Beam me up, Scotty. That's it. It's my favorite. And this week, what I want to talk about is Star Trek Lower Decks, the episode Reflections. Reflections. Is that a beautiful title? What a beautiful name for an episode. Reflections, right? It can mean so many different things. So many meanings behind the word reflections. And in this episode, part of the Lower Decks crew goes down to a planet to do some recruiting. And part of them stay on the ship. And what I want to get into is the part that stay on the ship. Because in this episode, the character Rutherford stays on the ship. And when he stays on the ship, some of the technical gizmos in his brain kind of malfunction a little bit. And during that malfunction, he encounters some kind of entity, some kind of alternate space being or personality or something. It's what we're led to believe. But wait. Before I go any further, I gotta say this. I do have some shares in the parent company of Star Trek. I just want to make it clear that I do have that. So just to let you know, to be fully transparent, that I do have some shares in Star Trek because I love it so much. And because I'm talking about it, I just want to make it clear and known to you that I do have an interest in it, financially. So I'm just putting that out there to let you know. And so he encounters some kind of weird, strange, unknown copy of himself. But as we go down the episode, we soon find out that it is basically his younger self. Rutherford comes in contact with his younger self. And once I seen that, the episode's so connected with me right in that moment. Because I've thought about that a million times. I talked about that Will Smith movie. I can't remember the name of it, but the Will Smith movie where he meets his younger self. So I've thought about that a million times. Just, what would happen if your older self could meet your younger self? Now, I am currently 46 years old. So I've given a lot of thought to what would happen if I met my 20-some-year-old self, 22, 23, 24, 25. And if my 46-year-old version of myself met my 20-year-old version of myself, like what would the thoughts be about each other? Like how different are we? Now, I've done a lot of reflection about myself now just 10 years ago. And there's a significant difference in that version. Now, we rewind 20, 25 years, probably completely, totally different people. And in the episode, we see that Rutherford, his current self, and his younger self are very different, right? The younger self is more cocky, more disrespectful, right? And I'll be honest, I could kind of understand it a little bit. Because when I was younger, to be completely real, there was probably some of that with me. I think in general, though, with all young people, there's a little bit that with you. And as you get older, basically life beats that out of you. It does. So if you walk around like that as a younger person, life will generally teach you as you grow older to stop that, right? There'll be many situations and many things you encounter that's going to basically teach you to not be like that. Guaranteed. I take it from a 46-year-old dude. Guarantee that you may be a young person hearing this, and maybe you're out there, maybe a little wild, a little crazy, a little disrespectful. I can promise you right now, guaranteed as a 46-year-old guy, as you move up the ladder of life and time passes you by and you experience different things, if you keep with that kind of vibe, there's definitely lessons in life that are going to teach you to not be that way. I guarantee it. I can promise you that. And that's facts. And it applies to everybody. Take it from a 46-year-old dude. Yeah, I'm very aware of that. And as you see in the episode, the Rutherford is just to me, a better human being. I'll be real about it. He's a better human being than the younger self. And as you go through life, that will be the hope, right? As I've been thinking about my life in general, I'm thinking if I was the same or pretty similar to my younger self now, I wouldn't have really grown. I wouldn't have really won that life. Because to me, I think winning that life, part of winning that life is being able to grow and learn and improve, right? And if I was still my 20-some-year-old self with the same beliefs, same thoughts, same practices, and not grown in 20 years, I'm not winning that life, bro. And to be completely honest, there's people out there that are pretty similar to their high school self. They have changed a lot. Maybe they're worse off, worse attitude, took their bodies in worse shape, right? Not taking the time to grow and learn. There's people like that. No judgment. You take whatever life path you want to take. But to me, as a 46-year-old dude, The way I see the world, I feel that growth and improvement and doing better and acting better and more respectful and just being a better human being is the way to go. And we see that in Lower Decks, where Rutherford is just a better version, in my opinion. And someone might see this episode and say, man, Rutherford's a square, he's a nerd, his younger self was way cooler, right? Maybe. I talked to this old man way back in the day, and he told me that most of the time, basically the coolest guy in high school ain't crap when he gets older. That's what he told me. I don't know if that's true, because I don't keep track or keep in contact with anyone I went to high school with. To be completely honest with you, I didn't like school. It just was like, I didn't dig it. So I don't know what's going on with any of the people. They may be cool, they may not, they may be doing good, I don't know. But it's what some older guy said. And when older guys talk, I listen. He said that. That may be true, that might not be true. But in this episode of Lower Decks, I feel that that's not true. Because Rutherford was cool, quotations. And he was able to surpass that quotation mark coolness and make something of himself. He had to fundamentally change his personality. Now, additionally, his personality was altered by some kind of scientists, some kind of doctors or scientists or programmers. Look, at least the way the episode goes, it seems like he was programmed to maybe remove, delete, forget the past version of himself, right? It's kind of been removed from his mind. And I'll be real with you. Sometimes as I walk this path and sometimes as I move through life and grow, sometimes I feel I could relate to it a little bit like, man, I don't even remember half the old stuff from back in the day. Like, and something real weird as well. I look at some old pictures and I know it's me, like that's me. But like, I don't know that dude. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's absolute craziness. But sometimes it happens. Cause like, what's going on in my mind now? Like 20 years ago, I can't even begin to think how I would think back then. Right? I just can't put my mind in that space. It's hard to. I've tried to go back and think how I would think. I think the journey I've taken has got my mind in such a different space that it's hard to even imagine what my 20-some-year-old self was thinking about things. It's hard. I mean, I don't know. But anyways, in this episode, Rutherford seems to have forgotten all his old past lessons. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's a bad thing. I don't know. Maybe he don't want to remember. I'm not sure. But also, has that fundamentally changed his personality? If you eliminated all the old stuff and you get this new version of Rutherford, the things that make him him, is he still him? Is he actually him? Right? You took all that old stuff out and you got this guy. Is it really him? Is it even him? I don't know. Now with myself, there's still a lot of stuff from back in the day that are still with me. I've been liking Star Trek since like 89. I still like Star Trek. I've been loving hip hop since like way back in the 80s. Still love hip hop. I do hip hop. I love hip hop. I have respect for hip hop. And also, one additional thing. If you guys are out there talking bad about the hip hop founders, the people that created it, shame on you. I've been hearing a lot of chatter this week. And there's been some disrespect to some of the people that created the art form of hip hop. Right? Without, I said this a million times, I'm going to say it right now again. I've said it a million times in the podcast. This podcast and everything I do creatively online would not be happening if it wasn't for the foundation, the creation, the founders of hip hop. I'll say it anytime I get a chance to speak about it because it's true. The only reason I'm doing what I'm doing right now is because of them. Now you say this is a podcast. How is that possible? Because I started doing all my creativity with pen and rhymes and rapping. It all started from rapping and pen and rhymes. Everything that I did after that came from that, right? All the art that came from that. So I always have respect for helping found, create, share that art form that I love so much. And I just want to say, man, don't talk bad on those guys, man. They did so much for the culture. We are only here, breathing, eating, creating that kind of art form because of them guys. So have respect for them guys, like straight up. Take care of them, just cherish and have respect, like for real. So I like hip hop from back then. I still like it now. There's still a lot of things back in the day that I like now. So I haven't had a total Rutherford where they just eliminated the old and got a whole brand new, because some of my old stuff still carries on to now. But in this episode, it looks like they just kind of just erased all Rutherford's past, what it seems like. Now, it's still unclear. There'll be more revealed, I'm sure, in the future. We'll see how this plays out, how this goes. But Rutherford's journey is getting more interesting as time goes by. Now, I do remember there was an episode, it was the last season before, where they showed Rutherford on some kind of table. It was a small, 1 minute glimpse. They talked about his memory or something. And I didn't know if they were going to go any further with it, but it looks like they're going further down this storyline with that. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. What happened to my boy Rutherford? Rutherford is so cool, bro. So what's going on with this dude, man? Will he get his memory back? Who knows? We'll find this out. So anyways, that's all I want to talk about this week. Just Star Trek Lower Decks and how interesting the arc with Rutherford and his meeting his younger self and how that works out. And have you thought about, if you saw your younger self, what you would say, what you would think? I've gave it a lot of thought many years, and I'm still unclear about it. So anyways, thanks for listening. I appreciate it. God sees gratitude. And until next time, we'll see. Ideas won't keep. Something must be done about them. Alfred North Whitehead. Until next time, it's Captain Peace.
The Captain Talks Flicks.